Hello, and thank you all for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from all over the world. We're so excited that we have such an incredible international population joining us to get started on their MBA journey or the graduate certificate journey for the summer quarter starting next week. And we are very excited to spend the next 60 minutes answering all of your questions, getting you revved up and excited to get started next week, showing you a little, some highlights of things that you can expect, and just really making sure that you are 100% ready to go when class starts next week for you. So I couldn't be joined by a more incredible cast. You're going to get to hear from everybody tonight, but as mentioned, we have all of your pre-submitted questions. So we've created some great content over the next 60 minutes that will address so many of the pre-submitted questions. But please, as we're going along, if you have any questions that you think of that you maybe we're not answering, please type those into the Q&A, and we will be sure to get to those as we go along. So that being said, it's my pleasure to welcome you all. If I haven't spoken with you myself, I know all about you from my admissions team. We reviewed your file, and I want to let you know that I couldn't be more thrilled to be welcoming you here tonight. We have students, as I mentioned, from all over the globe joining us for the summer quarter. We have actually students and alumni from 83 countries around the world. But this summer, we have students obviously from almost every state in the United States and a lot of international students. We have a big population of international students joining us this summer from Saudi Arabia, UAE, Canada, Ghana, the Sudan, Finland, Sweden, Pakistan, Nigeria, India, Mexico, Uganda, and Mozambique. And I think I hit them all, but we are also still enrolling new students for the next couple of days. So there might be some more countries represented in our new summer cohort. I'm the director of admissions. I started with Jade and Mai since almost day one, so going on 13 years, but I'm also a graduate of the program. I went through and I graduated with Travis Baldwin, who you'll be hearing in a few minutes from in a few minutes. So having enrolled thousands of students myself, and having gone through the program, I have come up with some tips for success. And I call them Carla's 5 C's for success because it helps me remember what they are. But I'm going to share those with you real quick before we start passing around the mic so you can hear from everybody here. And like I said, we're going to get to all those pre-submitted questions, but as we're going along, please do type your questions into the Q&A, and we'll be sure to get to those as well. So here's my Carla's 5 C's for success. So number 1 is confidence. So as I mentioned, we have every single person that is here on this call that's joining us next week. You are meant to be here. And this journey is about you becoming the best version of yourself. So when you get into class next week, the last thing any of us want you to do is to look around and start comparing yourself to anybody else. This is about you and you transforming and becoming the best version of yourself. We're going to meet you where you're at. So have that confidence that you were meant to be here. And also understand that your confidence is only going to grow and soar as you go through the program, especially in the first leadership class. That's the one thing that we hear repeatedly from our alumni. 98% of our alumni tell us that their confidence as a leader is soared after having gone through this program. So have the confidence that you're meant to be here, but know that confidence is only going to continue to grow and soar as you go through the program. So that's number 1 and very important. Number 2 is also very important, communicate. So if you haven't already done so this weekend, make sure you're taking the time to communicate with all the stakeholders in your life. Your loved ones, your significant other, your coworkers, your boss, your friends, your colleagues. Let them know what this journey that you're about to embark on. So one, they can be there to cheer you along every step of the way, but also so that they can understand when you do have to set some time aside to devote to, getting the most that you can out of this MBA journey, taking the time that you need to do your weekly discussion questions and those weeks when you have an assignment. Have your stakeholders in your life understand that you will need to devote that time so that they can support you through that process. So communicate with everybody, and also so they can help you get excited about getting started on your journey this weekend. Number 3 is connect, and you're going to hear a lot more about connecting from Travis and Andrew coming up, but I just want to say connection is really key to getting the most you can out of this MBA program. So first of all, I hope you've already connected with your advisor. If you haven't, don't worry. They have lots of time available over the next couple of days. They're there to be a support system for you. When you get into class next week, make sure you connect with your professors. They want to talk to you one-on-one, not just inside the classroom. They're going to be calling you. They want to get to know you. They want to hear your goals and aspirations and be there for a one-on-one personal relationship with you. So connect with your professors and then connect with all your classmates. You're going to start meeting them next week. By next Friday, you'll have to introduce yourself to all your classmates and they'll have to introduce yourself to you. You'll find classmates that you resonate with them. Go find them on LinkedIn and connect with them on LinkedIn. And that said, I did post all of our LinkedIn profiles in the chat. So during the next 60 minutes, I expect to see a lot of LinkedIn connection requests coming up. So please connect with us on LinkedIn. That way we're never more than a LinkedIn connection or LinkedIn message away. So connection is really, really key, and it's key to getting the most out of this MBA journey, and that's inside the classroom. Outside the classroom, if you haven't already, please join JWMI Connect. You're going to hear a lot more about that from Travis in a few minutes. But do it right now. Go to jwmiconnect.com. If you haven't already joined, you will have to plug in your student ID number the first time you join. If you can't find that, look for your welcome email. If you can't find that, send me a message on LinkedIn and I'll get that to you as soon as this wraps up. So join JWMI Connect because there's a lot of magic happening there. And I'm not going to steal Travis and Andrew's thunder, but you'll hear a little bit more about that in a few minutes. So connection is also really key to getting the most you can out of this MBA journey. Number 4 is also really important. Commit. You've already made the investment. You've already made the decision to invest in yourself. Now commit to yourself that you're going to take the time that you need to get as much as you can out of every class, and that you're going to show up whenever you can be your best student. The beauty of the program is it's asynchronous, so you never have to be logged in at any certain time on any given day. Figure out a rhythm for yourself. Figure out when you can show up as your best student, whether that's late at night, early in the morning, a little bit here and there on your lunch hour, save most of it for the weekend. Whatever's going to work for you, make that commitment. For me, it was time blocking, but make the commitment to carve out the time that you need to be successful in class and get the most you can out of this investment in yourself. And number 5, and this is a really important one, you're going to hear it a lot, is one of Jack's tenets: celebrate. I want you to celebrate this weekend, celebrate with your friends and your family and your loved ones that you're about to embark on this transformational journey. Celebrate every step of the way. So you're not waiting until you walk across that stage in DC when you graduate in a year and a half to 3 years from now. I want you to celebrate now. I want you to celebrate every week you get your grade for the week, every time you get a grade on your first assignment. When that class ends after 10 weeks, celebrate that you've gotten one class of your MBA completed and under your belt, and then you're on to your next. It's because it's really a marathon. It's not a race. I want you to enjoy every step of the ride and celebrate all along the way. So those are my 5 C's for success and for you to get the most out of your MBA journey with us. And my last little piece of advice: if you're feeling a little bit of nerves, if it's been a long time since you've been in school, or maybe you've never done online classes before and you're feeling some of those preschool jitters, trust me, that's normal. Like I said, I've enrolled thousands of students, and I would say 95% of them are the ones who at least admit to me that, yeah, I was really nervous before I started. I was nervous before I started. So if you're feeling those nerves, trust me, that actually just means you're excited. And we're here to support you. We're going to be here all weekend. If you're having some jitters or you have last minute questions, just give us a call. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm here to support you, and I'm going to be cheering you along all the way to graduation. So that being said, those are my tips. And I'm going to start off by handing the mic over to our Assistant Dean of Faculty and New Student Experience. If you're very lucky, you may be having Dr. Mario Bart, we call him Dr. B, for your first class. But Dr. B, the floor is yours. I'd love for you to welcome our new incoming students.
Thank you, Carla. So first off, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to JWMI. I think this is a huge undertaking on your part, and one that will, and trust me when I say this, it will transform your life for the better. We can circle back at graduation, and you can call me on that. if you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm right. But I can tell you, having been at JWMI since day one, I have seen so many students like yourselves come in day one, as Carla said, with the jitters and the nerves and some of the self-doubt. And then I see them at graduation as a whole new person, confident, relaxed, um, self-assured, really having an understanding of where they want to go with their career. And many times they say it's all about what they learned in the program. So I want to just kind of frame things for you as you begin your JWMI leadership development journey. And I want you to think about this journey as not just scholastic exercise. It's not just about you coming in here and taking a series of classes, completing your program and saying, okay, I have an MBA. What you will find is JWI is a very different place. It's very intentional how we design the program. And it's designed for you not only to have the underpinnings of Jack Welch's leadership philosophy, as well as our experts of practice, but it's really going to push you into a place of demonstrating and applying what it is that you're learning on a consistent basis from the first class all the way through to your final capstone course. So I want you to think about this journey. And, I was on a call the other day and someone asked me, how do I describe this program? And I said, it is an MBA program. There's no doubt about it. It's based on theory. That is true. But it's all about application, which leads me to say it's more of a vocational experience because you are going to do work to transform yourself into the leader that you desire to be. So think of it as a work in progress about you and about who you want to be and how you want to show up in your career, in your family, in your community, wherever you choose to show up. How do you want to show up as a leader? Couple of things, though, that kind of go into that formula. And I could speak for days about the curriculum because it's a really tremendous curriculum. It's all based on real world applicable knowledge based on Jack's experience, leading one of the greatest companies in the world under his leadership, GE. And I will say this also, for some people, they think, well, his name, is the name of the school. And they'll say, well, he just lent his name to the institution. Absolutely not. Jack Welch was so involved in terms of developing the curriculum, working with the faculty, and he looked over every assignment to make sure it was applicable and it was going to give you the knowledge that you can take away in the real world. So don't ever think that anything that you're doing in this program is busy work. Absolutely not. It has been stamped by Jack Welch himself to say, no, this is what these students need to learn so they can be successful in the real world. That being said, there are a couple of things that you need to do as you're thinking about your experience during this journey. One is, how do you go about developing that grit, right? That determination, that will to persevere when things will pop up, right? Life happens. And the question is, who will you be when life happens? Will you be that student that says, not for me, not the right time? Or will you be that student that says, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my faculty member. I'm going to reach out to my advising team, say, hey, there's something going on right now. I need a little bit of help. Can you help me through this? And what you will find is that we have a top-ranked faculty for a reason. We have a top-ranked staff for a reason because they are willing to work with you and help you through almost anything that can happen in your life. We've seen it. And we will work with you as long as you raise your hand and say, I'm willing to push through. Can you help me? So things will pop up. That's just life. But will you have the grit and the determination to push through? As Jack would always say, the most important part of getting this MBA is getting it done. So as you go through this journey, I want you to always know that we're on your side. We want you to win. But if something happens, put your hand up, say, I need a little bit of help. I need a little bit of guidance. I want to get through this, and I want to do what Jack said. I want to get this done, and I'm going to demonstrate my grit and determination to do so. Resilience. Resilience is this. I've had students that came in, and they, as Carla said, they may not have been in school for a number of years. They may never have taken an online course, and they're a bit intimidated. And that's okay. That's all right. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be in school. So you're in the right place. The question, though, is when you go into that class and maybe you don't get the grade that you thought you should have gotten, our faculty members are going to give you feedback, not to beat you down, but to lift you up, to show you the areas to where you can improve so you can become that student that you want to be in the classroom, and then eventually that leader that you want to be in your career. Now, the goal is for you to take that feedback, dust your shoulders off and come back again on the next assignment and really show who you are. And it may take one assignment, it may take two assignments, it may take you utilize communication coaches, which we have for you. But the goal is, again, for you to learn, grow, and develop based on the feedback that you're getting from your faculty members on each and every assignment. So your resilience, think about it in your career. Sometimes your boss comes to you and says, hey, John, Sue, you're not performing up to snuff. And they give you some feedback. What are you going to do? If you want that next promotion, you want to move into that next role, you're going to take it, you're going to improve, and then you're going to step into that next role or promotion. Same thing here. If you want to move on and do well in this program, take the feedback. That's where the growth happens. So never take any feedback and say, oh, my professor doesn't like me. Absolutely not. If your professor didn't care, they would just put a big check mark on your assignment and pass you on. But they're going to take the time to give you the feedback to say, hey, you could do this better. Look at this. Take a look at that so that you can improve. I mentioned our communication coaches, and they are really important because, I say, if you come into the program and you write like Shakespeare, that's great. If you come into the program and you struggle with writing, okay, that's great too. If you come into the program and you don't know where to get started, that's okay as well. Our communication coaches will help you brainstorm. They will help you outline. They will go through your assignments and help you edit, show you how to go about editing so you can do it yourself in the next assignment and the next assignment and the next assignment. And think about it this way, because I know a lot of times students will say, well, writing is not that important. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Because I can tell you, I've seen many careers get stopped in its track because someone wrote an email or wrote a proposal that was poorly written, and somebody higher up in the organization read it and said, that person's not promotable. And the bad thing is sometimes that feedback doesn't even come to that individual to say, hey, if you improve your writing, maybe you can move to the next level. No, a decision is just made that quickly. So never think that anything that you're learning in this program is not transferable into your career. Everything is. Everything is. So utilize the resources that we have. We have communication coaches. As you get into the quant courses, we have numbers coaches. We have an advising team. You can reach out to your AOs, even as you're down the program. Trust me, once you're in the program, they don't forget about you. We all want you to win. So we want you to reach out to the resources that you have. And I know Travis is going to talk about JWMI Connect in a moment, but that is your opportunity to connect outside the classroom, make friends, make connections, and build out a support system to where you can say, hey, something's going on in my life, but you know what? I got this friend that's going to pull me through. So I want you to utilize the support system that we have at JWMI for you, because again, it's all geared for you to win. And I got two other quick points. One is I do teach the 510 leadership course. And one of the things that we talk about in the course is that you are a leader. So I want you to know that right now, that you are a leader, because some students come in, Dr. B, I've never had a leadership role or position. Yes, you have. Because you've influenced individuals to do better, to be better. Trust me, you have. Think about it for a moment. And if you've done that, then you've led somebody in at least 1, 2, 3 moments, an area, an organization, a position. You have done it. Your influence has helped somebody improve themselves or take themselves to a space that they weren't at before. So you are a leader. Lean on those experiences. Lean on those moments when you come into the classroom. You may come into the class and see somebody that's a four-star general. You may come into the class and see somebody that's a senior level executive. So what? Each and every one of you are leaders. Step into that. That's what this program is all about. So step into it from now. And so when you do get into the classroom, I'm going to challenge you all. And your faculty members are going to pull you from the back of the classroom if you try to hide out. Share your expertise, share your knowledge, add value to the conversation. The more you add value, you will find out it is contagious, and the more your classmates would add value. And all of a sudden, the DQ board becomes so robust that you can't wait to get off from work and jump into the classroom. So again, I want to welcome you. Hopefully you're already excited, but again, you have all of our contact information here. We're here to help you. And like I said, do not be afraid to reach out, because we want you to win not only in the classroom, but in your careers. So again, welcome to JWMI and have a great summer term.
I love that. I love everything you just said, Dr. B. And I didn't say it before. We always say welcome to JWMI. I also say welcome to our family, because you're going to find out really quickly, especially if you join JWMI Connect. There is so much fellowship and camaraderie and support here. It's unparalleled. It's like no other MBA program out there, and it really is very much like a family, and you'll figure that out really quickly. So that being said, I can't wait to introduce you to Professor Dan Hecht. He is a faculty lead. You may be very lucky and have him for class starting next week. Has an incredible career history himself, a CEO. Like, he's just amazing. So much to learn from. And he's like all of our professors. All of our professors are incredible. They're experts in the field that they teach. So, Dan, that being said, I know we've gone over a lot of the questions that were pre-submitted, and I know you have some words of advice for everybody joining us next week. So the floor is yours, Dan.
Thank you. Absolutely. And you've done a great job, introducing everything in your C's, and Mario has made so many great points. I had to keep crossing out my notes. But I thought what I'd focus on is a little bit about your first class, because obviously that's what we'll be jumping into it in the next week. As Carla said, I'm the course lead, which means I not only teach leadership, but I oversee the other professors. So I have a hand in really bringing to life Jack's legacy, as Mario said, as this is his course, this is his whole curriculum. And I love and I'm honored to be able to do that, and honored to be able to do it with each of you, the students who bring it to life. So I thought I'd share a few things that I see as surprising insights you'll get as you go, and link them to some tips, and how you bring it to action. So for example, as we dive into leadership, this first course, we're going to talk about leadership of self, leadership of team, leadership of organization. It'll keep growing to, broader aspects where we can make an impact as leaders, not just if you have the title of leader, but as Mary said, we're all leaders, right? What we can do to impact the people around us, the culture around us, and make it an ever more positive and impactful experience. So some of the things you'll realize as you get into the course and start getting into this JWMI experience is, first, you might think it's going to be sort of a cold online experience. Like, I'm working online, I'm working on my computer. Am I going to be able to connect? And you're going to be so surprised and so amazed at the personal connections you can make, right? First with your professor to some degree, because you're sharing insights about yourself. We're going to be leveraging past experiences and what we learned from it and how it made us the person we are today. In some ways, I, as a professor, feel so honored, almost like I'm reading someone's journal when I review some of the work that's submitted. So if you lean into, as Mario said, your personal experiences, your personal insights, you're going to get that connection with your professor, and you're going to get it with classmates through the discussion board. So I guess, the tip is, lean in with no fear. Carla had mentioned you might be feeling anxiety right now, a little bit of nervousness. Realize that's probably excitement, and let that fuel you forward, right? Don't worry about trying to be perfect. We're all starting this new. So just come in, give it your best, and we'll help give you that feedback to keep growing and learning along the way. But as you do it, you're going to make some amazing connections. And your professor is not just behind a computer screen. They're a live person who, as we said, will connect with you, whether it's through email, through phone, through Zoom, when you need it, and give you guidance each step of the way too as a class. The other thing as a kind of an insight and then a tip is sometimes people, have struggled with when should I start this MBA or how do I get it to fit in? And even now you might be saying, oh my gosh, it's a new priority I'm about to take on. Don't think of it that way, because as you jump into the class, you will enjoy it. So the tip is really think of it as a new passionate hobby, something I'm now going to be able to jump into, embrace, learn, and thrive. And where that leads you to is the other part of that tip is it'll help you touch the course almost every day. It doesn't have to be every day, but it can't be just once a week or twice a week. You have to get in there so that you read the materials and then you're reflecting on it. You're engaging with some of your classmates and you have a chance to hear their responses. You're working, as we said, towards a bigger project, maybe with a communication coach. So it's something you're going to touch repeatedly throughout the week. And think of that as a new passionate hobby. And you'll be excited and you'll see how it starts to come to life in the world around you as well. It will leap off the screen and into your life. And I guess that's the last kind of insight and then tip is a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go through this academic exercise, kind of work towards it, march towards graduation. That's not what this is about, right? You'll be there at graduation. We'll be there with you and we're going to celebrate. But what you're going to learn is going to transform your life every step along the way. And I would not be here if I didn't feel that way. This is not just academic. This is life-changing. So your professors will challenge you, and I hope you'll challenge yourself to take what you learn and bring it to life every week. Make your life the learning lab for the class. In leadership, as we talk about being more candid in some conversations, you will lean into that and be more candid with your boss or someone who reports to you. And you can kind of report back to the class, how did it go? How did it feel? What happened, next as it continues to grow? So I always like to say and challenge students, we're going to learn about leadership. And more importantly, we're going to bring leadership to life. And again, that's what makes this class and all of your classes at JWMI so amazing. So we can't wait to welcome you. You'll learn more as we get in there about a weekly flow where we have discussion questions, a few bigger assignments that are mostly personal development driven. And as Mario said, you even have a communication coach who can help you along the way. We are all here to help you. We want to see you succeed. We know you're going to succeed. And I guess, again, I'd say no fear. Touch the course frequently. Let's bring leadership to life. And I can't wait to welcome you into the classroom next week.
I love it, Dan. Thank you so much. No fear, everybody. Remember that. And you're going to get as much out of this MBA program as you put into it. So throw yourself into it full force and you will get it back. So that being said, I am very excited to introduce my fellow classmate and graduate of 2018, Travis Baldwin. He is incredible. If you join any of the upcoming virtual Coffee Connects or Cocktails and Conversation, you'll get to know Travis and Andrew really well. But Travis, I would love it if I know we talked a little bit about some of the questions we had pre-submitted about how do I network, how do I get involved? I would love it if you could maybe even give a little preview of JWMI Connect so folks can see that firsthand.
Absolutely, Carla, I would love to. And first, I just want to start it off by saying, congratulations to each and every one of you for making this step, making this investment in your future, pursuing whatever success is for you. I think it's just incredible. I wish I had bells to ring right now because we really are that excited that you've made this choice in yourself and in your future. You've stepped in to pursue one of the most prestigious business degrees that you can get. And the benefit of JWMI isn't just the fact that it's a trajectory, it's a destination to get you to those three letters, that MBA after your name. Yes, as you've heard Dr. B and Dan talk about graduation and the excitement of that. But what they've really hit on in there is that transformational journey that you're about to go on, the impacts to your life, to your success. And really one of my favorite things, the community that I'm now a part of and the networking. And a big reason why people select top tier MBA programs is because of that networking potential. And if you look at today's world of, the world of information, really, one of the most critical commodities that you can have is your community, your network, the people that you're connected with. That, just like this MBA designation, is going to help open up doors, it's going to help open up possibilities, and it is going to help you on that trajectory of success, whatever that may be for you. So with that said, talking about the JWMI network and the community, it is going to start in the classroom. You've heard Dr. B and Dan talk about the discussion questions and getting to know your professors and the students. And yes, everything about this program is mapped out and calculated. The flows, everything that happens, there's no gotcha moments here at JWMI and pop test. And I didn't know that was going to happen. You're going to get a full track of it. So as Carla and others have said, dive in, saturate yourself with this information, but most importantly, ask, how can I apply this? How can I use this? What can I do to further my career and better my company? And because these classes are so intimately small, you're going to get to know your classmates very, very well and your professors, which in my opinion, being a community and network junkie, is one of the biggest aspects of what this program provides you. For those of you, I saw a couple of questions, about, what's to come? What are we to expect? It is different than a brick and mortar school where you might have 100 people sitting around a podium with the professor talking, everybody taking notes, but you're not engaging with your classmates. You're being disruptive. The benefit of the way the DQs are set up is it's asynchronous. You can learn and connect when you're at your best, but it's a real-time discussion. You're interacting with your classmates as if you were having discussions right there in the classroom. And not only is your professor not yelling at you for it, they're jumping in and helping to guide that and move that conversation along. So it's very enriching, and you're going to make a lot of great connections and a lot of great friends just going through the program. So those of you that are on this call that are the most introverted in the world, you're scared of networking, you're scared of getting out there, it's just not your bag, that's fine. Believe it or not, you're still going to run into a couple hundred people from over 83 countries around the world just going through the program, which is more, almost double what you'll get out of any cohorted top-ranked MBA. So you're already ahead of the game in the sense of networking. But for those of you who really want to dive into your JWMI family, you want to maximize, as Carla said, not just the learning, but the experience, the networking. Let me show JWMI Connect real fast and pull that up here and give you a quick tour, because I know you've heard a couple people talk about this. Now, with JWMI Connect, this is, if you want to put your mind's eye on it, really kind of a private LinkedIn. This came out of the SALB, the Student Alumni Advisory Board, hearing the request of students and alumni wanting to further that connection capability. They went to JWMI Powers That Be and started down the path of finding the right software. Several years, but it's an award-winning platform now. And there's over 4,500 students and alumni from over 83 countries in this platform ready to connect with you. So when you log in, and as Carla said, it's simple. You use your student ID number, your SU number that you've given, you put that in, and you can literally use LinkedIn and import your profile over. So it'll just bring your whole profile and your work history and all that over. So it takes seconds to create your profile in here, and you're now ready to engage with your JWMI family. And there's a lot of great things about this platform. So as we scroll down, you'll see the feeds and things happening and job postings and people looking for stuff. And, Jason Power is posting some wonderful opportunities there with the SBA, and it's even the Career Center and a couple of other things over here on the right to look at. But the real power of this is the JWMI family, the network that's sitting here. So over here on the left-hand panel, there's a couple different ways to dive in. First off, if you just want to go and find some people, you can go over to the directory. You can search by your location, you can search by industry, and really kind of get into people who are near you or in similar crafts, whatever the case is, and connect with them just like you would on LinkedIn. Except the difference is there's a lot less noise. They're a lot more prone to answer and respond on JWMI Connect. But this tab right here is one of my favorites, actually, the mentors. Now, believe it or not, nearly 3 out of 4 people that are in and join JWMI Connect say they're open to being a mentor for you. What does that mean? Well, if you're looking at my goal is to become a CFO at a company, or my goal is I'm thinking about transitioning over to healthcare, or, I want to start my own business, whatever it is, you can go and find people to connect with and get free consulting and advice from your JWMI family members, in addition to your professors in the classroom, and even, and they're in here too. But when you come to the mentoring tab, you can click on this, and based on the algorithm and your CV, it's going to match you up with people. But then just like with the directory, you can start searching people out by company. You say you want to go to work at Verizon. Well, you can go and find the people there and start chatting and forming that rapport. You want to become a CFO, go search for CFOs and ask them, what was your journey like? What did you have to do? What do I have to know to do this? You're thinking about jumping over to healthcare for a new career track. Plenty of them there. Is it worth me doing the HR concentration? Or are you trying to figure that out? Have those conversations. I really want to take on my entrepreneurial endeavors, or I am already an entrepreneur. Thousands of them to connect with for you there too. So it really is a chance for you to find those connections and that rapport with people that can help your journey, whatever that success is for you, and search that out. There's also tons of different networking opportunities and groups that are JW. So as you scroll in, obviously they're all based on graduation dates and classes, things like that. But there's all kinds of learning concentrations, entrepreneurship club, book club, all kinds of other just fun ancillary things to jump into if you want to form like-minded connections that way. You'll also see these networking hubs. Now, I'm not going to take this from Andrew. I'm going to stay focused on the virtual, but believe it or not, there is even an in-person possibility with the networking at JWMI. Now, staying with our virtual events, though, we do have two. We have over 77 every single year. So plenty of ways to get you involved in networking at JWMI, but we do have two that are recurring consistently every single month. So the second Friday of every month is our virtual Coffee Connect. It's at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Kicks off. That's just a casual come as you are. And it's a chance to meet students who are further along in the program you'll never run into in class. People who have already graduated and our alumni showing up, even some of our professors show up. But this is just a casual introduce yourself to the community, learn from people. We talk about different things going on in the news and questions people have, jobs come out of it. I mean, it's just a great way to connect. And because we are spread out, as Carla mentioned, all over the world in 83 countries, for time zones and helping to make sure we connect with everybody, the third Thursday of every month, we do the exact same format, but in the evening. And we call that cocktails and conversations. Now, for our friends on the other side of the world in Australia and the Middle East and everything, it's the morning for them, but a lot of them join that session as well. So this is a great way to give you two time zone options to just kind of come in and have some fun. And it might say cocktails, but it doesn't matter what's in the cup, just show up. Water, tea, Coke, whatever your flavor is, just come and have some fun, have some conversations. And then in addition to that, there's the sub events that are happening all the time, our experts of craft practice that come and give ancillary learnings, our professors that do ancillary learnings. So there is never a chance not to learn, not to improve yourself, and not to connect with your JWMI family. So plenty of virtual ways to do that. And I'll let Andrew tap into the in-person stuff here in 2 seconds. But again, welcome to JWMI. Welcome to the family. We are so incredibly happy for all of you. We look forward to sharing your successes along those journeys. Come to those networking sessions. Share, I've just finished my second class. Share, I'm halfway done. You'll see Andrew and the whole crowd cheering for you. And as we just had on the last one, tons of people that just graduated cheering for them, and we can't wait to see them cross the stage in October. So welcome again and congratulations. I think you're muted, Carla.
I would say, and what a fantastic tour of JWMI Connect. If that doesn't get you excited about joining, I don't know what will. So go in there tonight, join, jump in, start meeting people. Even this weekend, start meeting people, start connecting with people. You can find mentors. Travis mentioned you can search by area, your particular part of the world. You can find other students and alumni in your world. So what a fantastic opportunity for you to start plugging into the community even before class starts next week. And what a great segue for me to introduce Andrew O'Donnell. He's incredible. He's one of our founding members of the Student Advisory Board, one of my fellow JWMI alumni, and he's going to share a lot with you about our everything from his tips to our networking hub cities and even more. So Andrew, the floor is yours.
So thanks, Carla. And hey, congratulations, everybody. I'm so happy for you. But first things first, I'm looking at my phone and I only see a few LinkedIn connections coming through. So come on, let's get on that. And by the way, you'll probably see that they included all of ours in the chat, all of our LinkedIn connections, but I'm easy to find. It's Andrew P. O'Donnell in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Got a picture of me shaking Jack's hand, which will be up there for the rest of my life. So go ahead and connect because we really are a family and we really do want to talk to you and get to know you, as well as Travis shared that every month we have a couple of meetings. But number one, I'm excited for you, but I will tell you, I was more than excited when I started the program. I was what Dr. B talked about. I was the nervous guy. I hadn't been to school in 20 years. And so I pretty much made every mistake you could possibly make in that first couple of weeks. And so And then as we went on, I learned some new hacks and things. So I'm going to share like my list of, I call them Andrew's knucklehead tips of what to do. These are some of these things I didn't do at the beginning, I should have done. And a lot of these I learned along the way, and they're so helpful. And there's a couple on here that when we have these calls that Travis and I are on every month, you know, people that have graduated ages ago come to me and they're like, I'm so happy you gave me number 3 or number 4 because it's helped them so much. So, so get yourself a pencil. An old mentor of mine said that a short pencil is better than a long memory. So make sure you're typing or writing this down or wherever you get this information, because it's going to be very tactical. It's the stuff I wish I knew on day one. So let's go through it. So it's a list of 5. So number 1, read the course guide from the beginning to end. I know most of you probably will do this instinctually, and that's fine, right? But I don't know why I didn't. I read some of it and I read everything, but I didn't do it. I didn't go through it like clinically, but do that. And when you do that, look for like family and work events on the calendar. You know, prepare to get ahead. Maybe you got a vacation coming on, or maybe you have a work event, July 4th, or it's going to be some other holiday that's going to happen during whichever semester you're in. Make sure you plan for that. It's a real big deal. You may see, oh my gosh, I got my first paper that's due that same week that we have that family outing at the beach or something. It's a really big deal. So make sure when you're reading through it that you're looking through also as a calendar and just marking off when you might have some things that might make it difficult. So that's number 1. Number 2, get to know your professor. Oh my gosh, this is so important. And they really do want to get to know you as well. You'd be surprised. But the most important piece there, and also network with them, network with all of the professors, whether you have them in class or not. You will get to meet them on some of our like networking events that are online, some in person, but also if you see them in a directory, and if they're working for a company, maybe you're interested in, network with them. As Travis said, 3 out of 4 are willing to network, but you'll also, they tick little boxes that say, I'm willing to introduce you into my company, or I'm willing to have a coffee with you if you live locally to them. So make sure you're looking at that as well. And those kickoff classes are so important. So every class, Dan's going to have a kickoff class, Mario's going to have a kickoff class before, Travis is going to have a kickoff class. So make sure that after you're looking through that whole guide, you're coming up with those questions. I came up with a couple and I was so happy I asked them, because, you know, it was like, hey, how long do the papers need to be? Or, you know, what happens if I miss this? Or, you know, we get to just hash out anything that you might have a question about. So that's number 2. Number 3, this is huge. Read the discussion questions before you do the reading. Andrew didn't do this. He read everything. I was nervous and I wanted to make sure I read the book and I read the other book. And I read the discussion questions. It's incredible. In the course guide, they give you all of the questions. It's just unbelievable. It's amazing. I can't believe the program does this. It's like you're cheating, but you're not. They want you to get a head start. They want you to understand the material. They want you to add some of your personal experiences in. So that's the best way to do it. Read those discussion questions from top to bottom. And as Dr. B had mentioned, you know, it is contagious. When you start, you know, writing down like, hey, this is what I read in here. Here's a passage that I have, and this was the page it's on. And you start putting them into your posts. It's wild. People literally start coming towards you. And I experienced it. I can't remember what week it was. It wasn't immediate because it took me a while to kind of get the idea of it. So I'm hoping that you guys start doing it immediately. But once I started doing that, it was exactly like Dr. B said. It became fun. There were certain classmates I started responding to, and they responded to me. And we even started taking classes together afterwards, which was really cool. So it's really fun. And that'll make this such a much better program for you. It'll make it exciting, and you'll learn a ton. And each one of you, you'll find this to be true. Old, young, no matter what your industry, whatever country you're in, you're going to find that at some point you are going to be the expert. You're going to know something that somebody else doesn't know. I was maybe a little older than some of the students when I first went in the program. You know, not the oldest, but I was a little on the older side. But I'll tell you, I didn't have some of the technology background that some of the other students had. And the things that they would read online and things, I didn't. And they shared in their posts. And I was like, whoa. And I went right to it. So believe me, there's going to be a class, there's going to be a week where you are the expert. And because we have like 18 or 19 different students, and it's such a diverse program, in fact, when they did the rankings, the 2 big things where we scored the highest, and we were great in the rankings, top 10 a bunch of times, but in the rankings, it was the professors are number 1, you know, and it was also our diversity. We're the most diverse program as well in online MBAs. So what's neat is out of those 18 or 19 people, a ton are going to be from countries all over the world. And so you're going to be able to get all these different perspectives, and you're going to make a lot of friends. Believe me, you will, and colleagues, et cetera. But that's number 3, read the discussion questions. Number 4, This is probably the one people love the most. And actually, Travis and I were just emceeing one of these monthly calls, and somebody mentioned to me, "Oh, that was a big deal, Andrew. Thank you. A couple of years ago, you shared that with me." Put everything into one document. I don't care what it is. I used Word. I'm an old school guy, but some people use software. They use OneNote. They use different programs. They use Adobe. But what I did is when a student said something or a professor said something I thought was interesting, I would jot it down in a note. If I saw a passage in a book that I really liked, I'd write the page number down and the reference. So then I could put it in my put it into my paper later, or maybe into my DQ. And then suddenly you're accumulating all of these like nuggets of information, and they're so valuable. And that's when you're using them in your DQs. And after just like even a couple weeks, it's valuable. After like a couple classes, it's unbelievable. When you graduate, well, mine was over 2,000 pages long. And that is the most valuable piece in my professional library that I have to this date. And I graduated in 2015. And I still go back to that today. Quite a bit I go back to that. I have posts from my old classmates. I have my old posts and all kinds of personal notes and things that went in there. And believe me, it would really help you. That's probably the one. If you remember one thing, like they say, you go to a conference, remember one thing, that's it. Put everything into one document. By the way, it's searchable, right? So I just hit the Control F key. It's the find command. And I type in whatever I'm looking for. So I'm doing my paper, I'm doing research, and oh, what was Patrick Lencioni's book? I type in Lencioni. Everywhere that it said Lencioni comes up. It's terrific. Try it out. I think it'll be great for you. Number 5, the final one. This is a big deal. Travis had kind of prefaced this. Network with everybody. Network with your colleagues. When we started JDMI Connect, we cheered so much when we got 50 people into it. I don't know if you were paying attention when Travis was doing his demonstration, which was cool. Thanks, Travis. But I looked at the number there, 4,178. We cheered when we had 50. And as Travis knows, I always like to say, it's one of my favorite sayings, this is the smallest this program will ever be. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Your network is massive, only if you take advantage of it. And this is how you take advantage of it. Join us in these networking events. As Travis said, well, this year we're going to have about 80. And just 2 of them every month are just for us, right? They're put on by alumni, they're put on by students, and we just get together and we share things. And the professors and some of the staff share. They come and join us as well. It's really terrific. And by the way, we have an ambassador program at the school, which is completely international, all over the world. We have 170 ambassadors, which are just volunteers. They're students, they're alumni that say, hey, I'd like to kind of help you, coalesce the students, or maybe we'll have help in-person events in my city or in-person events in my town, or I'll come to the calls, like I'll come, once a quarter or once a month, I'll come to the call. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me on LinkedIn and just ask me more information. I could tell you about it. You may have your hands full at the beginning. So this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. So take your time, but this is a real big deal. And believe me, you're going to get to know friends from all over the country. And they're really going to help you throughout the program. But here's the thing. When you get your MBA, it's amazing. You're an MBA from this program, a family member at JDMI for life. That's a real serious thing, especially when I said before that your network continues to grow every semester, continues to grow. So take advantage of it and we'll help you. So again, reach out to us, join our calls. You don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to, but I think what normally happens is, you see people that don't put their camera on, great. And then after a couple of calls, you see they put their camera on and they're excited to get to know everybody and we all become friends. So it's really easy going. By the way, we just had a in-person event in Johannesburg, South Africa, and they also had it online at the same time. So all of Africa joined on this. And this was just put on by students and alumni. And it was also that time zone, because we go by time zones, So even some people in Europe got to join it as well. But we're going to have these networking events all over the world. And of course, in a ton of states, and Canada is actually one of our biggest networking events as well that we have. And they're ongoing. So congratulations to everybody. I'm excited. I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking for those LinkedIn requests. I'm really excited to get to know you. Again, congratulations. Welcome to the family. Thank you, Carla.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andrew. And I love what you said there at the end about this family, these relationships that you're going to make. That's one thing that is for life. That is something nobody can ever take away from you. And the MBA as well. This is an investment in yourself that is going to pay off forever, and nobody, you can never lose that. Nobody can ever take that away from you. So what more incredible thing to invest in a family and a network like this and an MBA that I say it all the time, but it's really true. It's going to change the way you look at the world, and it's going to change the way the world looks at you. So that being said, last but absolutely not least, I can't wait to introduce you to our Senior Director of Enrollment Services and my very good friend, Tara Sai. She is going to give you a little sneak preview of the first couple of weeks of class, and I think that is going to answer a lot of questions that we previewed that were pre-submitted. And do thank you for asking your question. I know Tara answered it in chat, but I'm sure it's a question that a lot of people have, asking how much time should I expect to commit to be successful in the program. So Tara, that being said, I'll let you answer that question.
All right, thanks, Carla. Welcome, everybody. As Carla said, I'm Tara Sai, so I oversee the business office, the advising team, and our wonderful faculty. So we'll be with you on this journey till the end. So I want to actually share my screen and show you around the system. But to answer the first question, if you're in one class, expect to be dedicating about 10 to 15 hours a week. It may fluctuate the weeks that you have an assignment, or if you're like me and you might have to read something more often to get to retain it, it might take you a little bit on the higher end, but that's what you can expect on average for one class. So let's go ahead and dive in here. All right. And so what I'm sharing with you right now is iCampus. So as Carla mentioned, when you received your welcome email, you should have received your username, and that will log you into this platform called iCampus. So think of this as more of your administrative platform. So if you don't have your login, just reach out to your admissions officer or advisor, and they can go ahead and help you get that reset. On your end, you'll see the courses that you're registered for and the start date. So just a reminder that class does start on Monday, July 1st. However, I get asked this question every quarter. Well, what if I'm eager and I want to log in early? Well, if so, you certainly can. So the earliest you can log in is Sunday on June 30th and kind of poke around your class. But again, you're not required to do that. And if you do submit anything on Sunday, you're going to get a call from your advisor to say, hey, during the first week of class, we need you to go back in and participate, because attendance is only logged from Monday, the first day of class, to the end of that week. So it's very important that you do participate. And I'll show you what participation actually looks like. But the way that you can get into your class when the course begins is this will actually be highlighted for you to click on the name of your class. Over here on the left-hand side is also a direct link directly to Canvas, which is going to be the LMS or the platform that we're going to utilize. Some other things just to point out really quickly is whoever your academic advisor is, her information will be located here, as well as our business office. And the other question I get asked is about books and materials. So you can actually access the JWMI bookstore a couple different ways. Clicking on this link to buy books, or over here to the left, buy books and course materials as well. So let's go ahead and go into the classroom. So let's pretend it's the first day of class. I would go ahead and click on my course, and it'll populate for me in a separate tab called Canvas. And this is going to be what your classroom will look like if you're in leadership in the 21st century. You'll have an overview of each week of your class, so you can kind of dive into it. I know Dan kind of talked about that a little bit more specifically. On the left, when class starts, you'll be able to access 3 weeks of your class at a time. So again, if you're someone that wants to work ahead, you certainly can. But every Monday, the class will be moving on to a new week and a new subject. So if I go ahead and click on the oh, no. Of course, that's what happened today. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so that will not happen to you all. But when you look at your class on July 1st and go to week 1 of the quarter, it's going to populate the overview of your class. And so here you can see everything that you're going to have to do for that first week of the course. So if you have any upcoming like assignments or anything like that, you'll see where that is located. So as Andrew mentioned, if you want to work ahead or plan ahead, you certainly can. You also will see this information here about the communication coach. And I know that that was talked about and stressed heavily, because your advisor will definitely encourage you to use the communication coach to help with writing. And so there is more information within the classroom where you can connect with your coach, and basically they will provide different webinars. There's an email address that you can just send your request to, or you can contact your advisor and she can go ahead and get you connected with the coach for your discussions or future assignments. At the bottom of each week, you'll see kind of your checklist. And so you'll have your week 1 materials for the course. So again, if you don't have your books or all the materials for the first couple weeks, those PDFs and links are provided to you right here. And then the second item that you would have to do for the first week is called a course navigation quiz. So it's not meant to be scary. As you can see, you can have unlimited amount of attempts. And basically it's to help you navigate within your classroom of where important information is located. So maybe one of the question is, who's my professor, or how do I see my grades, or how do I connect with a communication coach? So that information will be located here. But if you need help and you're getting something wrong, just phone your academic advisor and she can go ahead and help you. Next, you'll do for the first week of class is your class discussion question. We usually refer to this as an introduction. So it's all going to be about yourself and talking a little bit more about yourself and sharing that with your classmates. So when you are ready to go ahead and submit your response, you would just come in here and answer these questions in paragraph form and click submit or click reply. And when you do that, it'll show up for everybody in your class to see. And so you're responsible for submitting this Friday night of your time zone. And then by Monday morning of each week, then you're going to be responsible for responding to 2 of your peers' posts within that discussion forum each week of the class. And so again, that would be just reading their response, clicking reply and typing your response in there. And so once you finish that for the first week, you can of course move on to the second week. So again, the format and flow will be very similar each week of the class. And I know that the professors highly encourage you to join these live webinars and success sessions that they do have throughout the quarter. So again, you'll see that information there. And then again, you can work as you want each week of the class. And when one week ends, another week will populate for you. And again, the information located over here will be available to you. So if you want to see what the course guide is or any other important information, that will all be located within the course documents. So like grading, anything like that. And then as we shared before, if I want to know who my professor is, I would click on my professor and their bio will be populated here. So you can go ahead and reach out to them per their contact information that's listed as well. And so that's kind of the important piece to help you all get started. And there is a link as well to the university library too. So again, a lot of resources here, and I know we're tight on time, but I would just encourage you all to kind of explore because that's the way you're going to get familiar with the class. And remember, for the first 3 weeks, you're going to be doing everything for the first time. So the first week a quiz, and then the second week a survey and a disc assessment, and then your first assignment. So just know that you might not get everything right the first time. If you're doubting, did I do everything correctly? You can always go into your grade center and take a look, and it'll tell you when you submitted something and if it was done. But again, if you have doubts, contact your academic advisor or reach out to your professor and they can go ahead and confirm for you as well. So again, a ton of information. And I would say the last thing is this MBA toolbox. I know I mentioned the communication coach as well, but this is a great tool because this will be with you throughout your time in the program, all of these great different modules that are available. And so the last one I wanted to point out is Grammarly. I use Grammarly in my email, and I would encourage you all to download it and access it for free. So anything that you write, your discussions, future assignments, even your own personal emails, then you certainly have that available to you. And again, your academic advisor can certainly help you with that. So thank you, everybody.
Fantastic.
You.
Thank you so much, Tara. I know that was a lot of information and such incredible information. So all of you out there, I don't want you to worry. I'm going to be sending a recording link of this session to you. You'll get it on Saturday morning. So feel free. You can fast forward past my Carla's 5 C's and listen to anything you want. But if you want to see again what Tara was going through, fast forward to the last 15 minutes and you can watch that again as many times as you need to. But that is a really helpful guide so you know what to expect next week when you jump into class. And again, Your discussion question isn't due until Friday for the first week. After that, it'll be due on Wednesday. And then, as Tara mentioned, your 2 peer replies are not due until Monday morning of the following week. So if you want to pull a Sunday night all-nighter, you can. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So I know we just hit the top of the hour. I think we could talk a whole nother hour getting you guys excited. I know we're excited. Again, rest assured, I'm going to be sending you all a recording length of this session, but we will all be around this weekend. Please connect with us on LinkedIn. Message us if you need anything at all. Call us. We're going to be around. We're so excited for you to get started. I want to congratulate you once again on this transformational journey that you're about to embark upon. And I look forward to cheering you on all the way to graduation, every step of the way. So thanks again. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. And we can't wait to see you in class next week.
Look forward to seeing you.
Welcome to JWMI. Congratulations again.